What's going on? It's Trending Story. If it's your first time here and you want to find out new facts that will definitely make you smarter and more well informed, make sure to subscribe and activate the notifications bell so you don't miss anything.
As the beloved Simba finally returns to big screens around the world, we'll all be grabbing some popcorn and tissues for the long-awaited and no doubt emotive debut. To celebrate Simba's triumphant return, we have tailor-made the ultimate East African adventure. Our 10-day Meet the Powerful Kings of the Jungle safari introduces wildlife lovers to the likes of Simba, Nala, and Mufasa, to name a few. In their revered homeland, the vast and infinitely beautiful Serengeti Mara ecosystem. Africans were known for crafting unique weaponry during the pre-colonial era, which were then used for various activities like war, grazing, traditional ceremonies, and some even for prestige. Most notable weapons were the spears made using a long wooden sheath and a metallic head, as well as the bow and arrows and shields, often made from animal hide. Some communities are crafted swords. The Maasai have roamed Tanzania since time immemorial. Cattle in tow, the East African pastoralists have circled the land looking for fresh grass, coexisting with nature for as long as anyone can remember. But nature is not always kind. 50% of the world's lion population lives in East Africa, and lions like to eat livestock. Historically, the Maasai would use deadly force to protect their herds, often heading out in revenge parties to hunt and kill lions. There were ritual killings also, known as alamayo. Killing a lion, a symbol of strength and power, was a rite of passage for Maasai initiates into Morani, the warrior class. Armed with a spear, these youths became men in the process, returning to the tribe to be treated with newfound respect. The Maasai, ethnic warriors in Africa, hunt lions to prove their bravery and personal achievement. Lion hunting is a long-standing tradition, playing an important role in the Maasai culture. This tradition is not like hunting wild animals for trophies. The Maasai perform this ritual to find the tribe's hero. Under the rules of the tribe, the warriors are not allowed to hunt a lion who is suffering from drought, trapping, or poisoning. The Maasai believe that women are the bearers of all species, so they prohibit hunting the female lions unless they threaten the tribe's cattle. Usually after 10 to 15 years of milestones, each warrior must count the number of lions hunted to compare them with the previous timeline, thereby assessing personal experience through each stage. Mpikas is the name of the lion hunting warriors. They must plan a few days before leaving. The plan was secretly done. No one but Mpikas knew about this. Experienced people fear that information may come to the opponents of hunting lions. If a warrior reveals information about the hunt, his teammates will beat him to punish him. The hunt began at dawn, and the warriors had to leave the village when women and old people slept to avoid discouragement. They gathered at a landmark outside the village, heading towards the most visible lion. They followed footprints, feces, and urine or vultures. Mpikas divided into groups after departure. El Morgio is a senior group with experienced, healthy, and incapable dealing with a lion. El Meluya are brave warriors, ready to live and die with lions. Ibarnat is a group of young warriors who will be excluded if they cannot afford it. Those who were forced to go home were asked to keep this hunt secret until their comrades returned. Sometimes the predecessors also forced them to leave their shields and spears. This is considered an insult. When the warriors return from the hunt with a lion, the Maasai community will celebrate for a week. Women from different villages will embrace warriors who stab into the first lion. They do not eat lion meat, but only take nails, tail, and mane. Warriors who hunt lions will get imporo, beaded shoulder straps. He will wear it throughout the ceremony and be respected for life by the Maasai community. Some of the reprisals have become extreme. Aside from spearings, Maasai have begun poisoning carcasses between a lion's initial gorge and second feed. This not only kills the lion, but anything that feeds on the lion's subsequent carcass. Wildlife warriors intercede, dissipate the situation, and ultimately provide solutions for the communities and those around them. One of the primary concerns is to document the attack and location using GPS to map the incident on Tanzania People and Wildlife's database. They'll also warn neighboring herders of the dangers nearby. Then begins the long-term approach to preventing cattle loss. Living walls, African myrrh trees, joined by chain-link fences, are being used by Tanzania People and Wildlife. Built in collaboration with the Maasai, they have been rolled out across communities. The difference between the boma and the living wall is that the living wall uses chain link, explains Elvis Kismir from Tanzania People and Wildlife. Bomas contain dried twigs from the thorny acacia bush, but chain link is infinitely more effective, especially when fortified with living, fast-growing thorny trees, which only become more impassable with age. In the wet season, these walls reach over 12 feet high. If we decided to do this on our own, we wouldn't achieve much, admits Kisamir. Community is everything. Lally Lechtenfield, Executive Director of Tanzania People and Wildlife, describes this as the next step and a way to help create a self-regulating environment in which both Maasai and lions can prosper. The Maasai people are absolutely critically integral to the conservation process in northern Tanzania, she adds. This is their land, and their livelihoods are so dependent on wise environmental stewardship. Healthy grasslands mean healthy livestock, and the livestock, the cattle, are the core of their being, who they are. It's their pride, it's their identity, it's their economic well-being. And so if they can manage to really keep those ecosystems intact and healthy, then everything in the system benefits. Perhaps most importantly, we witnessed just how important livestock are to the Maasai people. The amount of cows and goats that each household possesses is a determination of Maasai wealth and status. Each day, young male herders from each family take the prized cows and goats out into the Mara to graze and drink, and at night they return to the homestead. The livestock sleep in and around the huts, not outside the fence, but rather in the very heat in the heart of the homestead where they are considered safe from nearby predators, namely the lion seeking an easy meal. Of course, there was heavy skepticism among the Maasai when this program was first introduced. It was a real eye-opener, Mama Simba explains. I had zero experience working with communities. All of my experience had been working directly with wildlife, and I was totally unprepared for the challenges of working with people. Due to a troubled past between the communities, authorities, and outsiders, it took many years for us to build up trust and develop lasting relationships with the Maasai communities, whose buy-in was crucial to the success of the project, she admits. One of the most encouraging discoveries was that it was incredibly easy to shift the mindset from killing to protecting. Protecting a lion is far more difficult and ultimately braver than simply killing it. The Maasai have not fared well in modern Africa. Until the European settlers arrived, fierce Maasai tribes occupied the most fertile lands. The Maasai struggled to preserve their territory, but their spears were no match for armed British troops, and their lawyers never had a fair chance in British courtrooms. In 1904, the Maasai signed a first agreement, losing the best of their land to the European settlers. 7 years later, in 1911, a very controversial agreement was signed by a small group of Maasai where their best northern land, Laikipia, was given up to white settlers. Surely they did not fully understand what the consequences of such a treaty were, and anyway, the signatories did not represent the entire tribe. With these two treaties, the Maasai lost about 2/3 of their lands and were relocated to less fertile parts of Kenya and Tanzania. Maasai Wilderness Conservation Trust has pioneered a compensation program, reimbursing livestock killed by lions and other predators. The program is called Wildlife Pays, and it is supported by tourist conservation fees. It employs warriors as lions scout. More lions equal more employment. It is a cutting-edge tourism payment for ecosystem service, where tourists funds conservation through their stay at Kampi Yakanzi, totally sustainable and not depending on a single dollar of philanthropy. In the past, the Maasai and the wildlife simply lived together, in balance. If this could be re-established by showing to the Maasai the economic value of the presence of wildlife in their land, the future of the land, of the wildlife and of the Maasai people will be assured. Today, the Maasai have switched to organizing the Olympics for the boys in their village to compete. Instead of hunting lions to protect this animal, they open many subjects such as running multiple distances, throwing spears, and jumping high.
Thanks for watching. Please like and share the video in social networks. We'll be right back to you as fast as we can.